Hey, welcome back. I think today will be the last day I talk about maybe like election and politic notes and stuff. They have a couple like random notes. Okay, I guess I wrote this whole long. It was Wednesday morning, and I still was worried. And I wrote like this whole long rant on here. I probably won't read it, but it really bothered me. I mean, I don't know why. Probably because before Wednesday, I thought he was gonna lose, so I didn't really care. But the whole idea of him saying, well, the election's rigged and I'm gonna win, and if I don't, then I won't accept it or whatever. Once I started to think he could win, that started to really bother me, which is interesting. He claimed victory on Wednesday morning. I watched that press conference he did, which was really interesting. It was like a different tone than he's ever had before, where he was saying, it was really weird. I don't know what was weird about it. I'm not gonna risk it. The line I remember in my head, well, he was talking about, like, it looked like we were winning, and then all of a sudden these votes started coming in. And the line where he gets a big cheer is, frankly, we did win. That's something nobody in American politics has ever said before, right? They've claimed victory before it's happened, before all the votes have been counted. And that bothered me. Obviously, I mean, but the fact that he could still win, I guess that was part of it. Is like, it reminded me, like, oh no, if he wins, it's going to be another 4 years of this. These like stupid claims, like, and nobody. I just want to forget about this guy. I don't want to think about him ever again. I know even when he loses, he's still gonna be in the news, but at least he won't be president. I don't know. And I was thinking, I mean, there's no reason for him not to run 4 years from now, and I think he would have a good chance. I mean, he got 70 million votes this year. He could win 4 years from now, especially if, like, Biden dies or something and he's running against Kamala Harris. It would just be 2016 all over again. The way this election went too, I don't think Bernie Sanders would have won. I don't think so. I think people really hate socialism, just the idea of it. They're very averse to, like, socialism means the government controlling you and taking stuff away from you. If anybody calls themselves a socialist, I can't vote for them ever. And I actually hate them because they want to take stuff from me. He's dead. These crystal guys are hard. I wrote this stupid thing about, like, I'm sick of trying to be like a moderate person and be better than everything. I'm gonna say it like, I don't like Trump. Yeah, I mean, anybody who would watch this would know that already. The thing I said is like, he's a bad person. I guess part of me would always say this, like, the worst thing I would ever say about him is like, he's stupid, he's ignorant, but I don't know, maybe he's not I don't know, maybe he's not a bad person. I wouldn't say that. I just wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it either way. I wouldn't say he's a good person or he's a bad person. But if he cared about America at all, he wouldn't claim victory before all the votes were counted, because he knows how inflammatory that kind of a talk is. He knows how polarized America is, and he's using that against us to help him win. He's lying because he knows the rules. He knows how it works. I'm sure he had like hundreds of people telling him like they still have to count the absentee ballots, and the absentee ballots are totally legal. So that's why it looked like you were winning before, but a lot of the absentee ballots are Democratic, so you're going to start to lose your leads a little bit. So he's lying. When he says, frankly, we did win, that's a lie, and it's a bad lie. Not that there are any good ones. It's an inflammatory lie, and he knows it's inflammatory, and he's using that to help him get support or whatever. There's something up there. I don't know what it is. All politicians lie. But nobody would ever do that. Biden would never do that. Mitt Romney would never do that. Obama would never do that. George Bush would never do that. Maybe the reason they would never do that is because they want people to like them. So, and they know that's unlikable. But at least they wouldn't do it, and that's something. All politicians lie about stuff. Biden lied. After a couple of debates, I looked at the fact-checking thing on AP, and it would say like, oh, this thing he said was misleading. It's not really true. I don't know. If a politician says it, it's like it's technically just it's a lie. He lied about something. Maybe when he said it he didn't mean it to be a lie, but all politicians lie. But nobody says that. He's willing to hurt America if it benefits him, and that's proof of it, right? Am I fighting somebody? Yeah, I mean, I talked about it yesterday. I'll use the example everybody uses was just Al Gore. He conceded, even though he didn't have to. He really didn't. I don't think. He went to the Supreme Court. He presented his case, and I think he lost in the Supreme Court. But he could have pushed it, and he could have went on TV and said, "I won. I won Florida. Frankly, I won Florida." They stole this election from me. The Republicans stole it. There is massive fraud like you've never seen. In Florida, dead people voting left and right. I mean, he's dead. Oh. I wasn't old enough to remember anything that really happened. during that election. Maybe Gore was really pissy about losing, but I don't think he was. I need him. I need him. I need Gino. This last line I said is kind of stupid. I've said before here, this is how upset I was about this stupid tweet and like this press conference he had. I've said before how there's a world where I would vote for conservatives and Republicans because my perception of the world would be such that I think it's too liberal and we're doing stuff too fast and too crazy and we're spending all this money and we're helping people way too much or whatever. And I would vote for a conservative because I wanted them to be like, whoa, let's stop doing stuff so much. And what I wrote here is like, that world has passed. My dad, I'm sure this is fine to say. My dad always talks about how the first election he voted for was Jimmy Carter. I guess that makes sense. He was born in 1959, so that makes sense, right? And everybody hates Jimmy Carter because there was a bad recession when he was president, and the famous thing was like the oil shortage where people couldn't get gas and they had to wait in lines and stuff. And so ever since then, my dad has voted for Republicans. And he would say the reason he voted for Jimmy Carter is because his dad told him, like, you gotta vote for Democrats because they're for the working man, which is an interesting perspective from my grandpa. Who died before I was born. I never met him. But those kind of Democrats don't really exist anymore, like the working man Democrats. The Democrats have kind of lost them. Which is who Bernie Sanders was trying to appeal to. But he attaches like to socialism, and then the working man people, they hate socialism, so they can't vote for him. But how else are you supposed to be like a working man guy and not talk about socialism? Which I do for Gino. I'll make Gino super special. There he goes. I gotta get that alligator. Okay. Okay, I guess that's it for today. I'll just finish this long note. A couple of things I missed. Well, I wrote, all politicians lie, but Joe Biden would never do this. And I said Mitch McConnell would never do this. That's important to note. Like, if Mitch McConnell lost his election, he wouldn't have that kind of a press conference where he'd be like, this whole thing is rigged. I didn't lose. I actually won. We gotta take this to the Supreme Court because there's something going on here. Mitch McConnell wouldn't even do that. However much you hate Mitch McConnell, if you hate him, he wouldn't do that. There's a world where Jeb Bush is president, and I don't care about politics. Because he doesn't do stuff like this. I think that's true. Like if Jeb Bush had been elected in 2016, would I still look at politics the way I did? Like in 2015 and 2014, where I didn't really care too much about it? I think so. Oh, I have to check 538 every day before the end of the day. What does he say? Any updates? Oh, we got an update. How many updates did we get? Oh, whoa, there's a lot of updates. What happened? What happened? It's nothing. I'm watching the lead up to Trump's press conference on Fox News, and they're mostly playing it pretty straight, for Fox anyway. One thing they say, though, is that Trump may have chosen to speak now, in part because the margin in some of the states is about to flip to Biden. So it might be Trump's last chance to get some kind of narrative. That's interesting. This was also the year of the Republican women, Trump says. To repeat myself a bit, it's odd that Trump is once again arguing against the validity of late counted mail ballots in some states when they're the only thing that gives him a chance in Arizona. I guess it's just all about Trump. Trump's lead in Georgia is down to 3,600 votes. Trump is now giving remarks from the White House in which he's not only questioning the accuracy of the polls, but going a step further to say that they were falsified. That claim is baseless, but one thing we found in the lead up to the election is that Republican voters were less confident than Democrats that the election would be conducted fairly. Trump is actively stoking these fears. Just a programming note for readers: we're watching the president's remarks and we will offer some context, but we're not really doing any play-by-play because most of Trump is claiming is false and or baseless. One positive for Trump is that the absentees from Chatham County, Georgia votes that just dropped weren't that friendly to Biden. He won 67-33. Still, that's better than the pace Biden. Georgia is going to be the closest of any state. It's going to be under 5,000 votes, maybe even under 1,000. Either way, it's pretty crazy. So I'll keep you updated on that. You already know what happened. You know much better than I do. Okay. I really like this little. I like 538 because they're like, I don't know. They're like nerds, so it's good. They're not like news people. Like cable news is the worst. ABC News, I was watching them a little bit. They seem to be doing okay with the coverage and everything. And George Stephanopoulos. Okay, see you tomorrow.